Hi there folks. So why do you think it is that most that come into trading for the first time, they actually fail, they actually donate money to the markets, end up giving up on the dream? Well, I'll tell you why it is. Have you ever heard of the expression or the acronym of the 5 Ps? You know, proper preparation prevents poor performance. That's pretty difficult for me to say with my rolling R's. If you hadn't heard that one, I'm sure you've heard this one. Fail to plan, plan to fail. Look, most educators, most people out there that are trying to teach you how to trade the markets, they do have one thing right, and that is you've got to treat this as a business. And most that come into this, they don't treat it like a business. They just basically start off with a chart and a bit of money in an account, and they end up blowing it up. If you were to set up a company in any field, any walk of life, and you want to get funding, you want to go to a bank or to a wealthy friend or whatever it is, they would say, well, show us your business plan, show us the plan, show us how they're going to get their money back in time. And that's exactly how you should be treating your business, your trading business. And a trading plan is literally a tangible plan. It's something that you put together with everything that you need to know to keep your business on track. It has everything in there from the goals, expectations, the expenditures, incomes expected and so forth. So today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can put a trading business plan together, which incorporates the actual trading plan. Remember, there's a difference between the trading plan, which is more about the actual strategies and so forth, and the business plan. So that's what this video is going to be all about today. And also, you're going to be able to download a template that's going to have all the components that you should be incorporating into your business plan if you're serious about giving this a shot and making it as a trader. Come on, let's go. Okay, so this is the business plan. Now remember, when you're creating a trading business plan, there's 2 real main components. First of all, you've got the business plan, how the business is going to run, the expenditures, the incomes, the procedures that you're going to do to monitor the progress and so forth. And within that, you have the trading plan. Trading plan is going to be much more specific about the actual trading itself, the strategies that you're going to be using, the time frames and so forth. But the trading plan is incorporated into the business plan. So remember, this is going to be the template that you can use to get your own business plan up and running. Remember, you've got to have a business plan if you want to have any chance of succeeding in this. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go through various aspects of the business plan. I'm going to skim through it because it's a short video, but what I should do is you suggest after this video you download this template and then start filling it in your own time. You may want to come back to this video and watch it again as I explain parts of it, but I am going to skim through it pretty quickly. Okay, so first off, I think the business plan should start off with a mission statement, basically outlining why you are doing this business plan in the first place, the intentions of putting all this down on paper. I've touched on it there on the introduction. You know, the purpose of the business plan, which should be there in the mission statement, is because we accept that we need to plan ahead. If we don't accept it, then don't be watching this video. Go off and do it on your own without planning. But I suggest if you're serious about this, you should take it serious from the get-go. So write it down. If I fail to plan, I am going to fail. So this should be in your mission statement. And of course, yeah, you've got the 5 Ps that I mentioned. You know, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Okay, so what should be in this mission statement? It basically is something you type out or you write out by hand. Your goals and objectives. It's basically, you write out, this is going to be my roadmap to continued success, the vision going forward. It'll help me stay focused and it will help me stay on track. Remember, you've got to put this down in the beginning in the mission statement. So basically writing it out in a number of different paragraphs. It will also enable me to keep track of my monitoring processes, how I'm going to monitor the business going forward. Set up your business vision, basically why we're in this in the first place. All this has to be laid out. And remember, this only really is going to work if you are honest with yourself. There's no point, no one else is necessarily going to read this. I encourage you to be reading it at least once a week before you start your trading business, before you start your journey every Sunday or whatever that is, a Monday. I suggest you read it, but no one else is going to read it. But you can be honest, but you still got to be honest with yourself. And it also lists the financials. So in this mission statement, you'll say, and I will be laying out in this the financials that I will abide to, I will be expecting, so that there's no surprises down the line and that the business runs smoothly. So start off your business plan with a mission statement, why you're doing this in the first place. Okay, oh, here we go. Review the weekly before the start. Yeah, exactly. I've just mentioned that. So you need to review this business plan before the start of your week and make sure you put that down in the mission statement. I will be reading this every Monday before I start my trading day. I want to start off by talking about SWOT analysis. This is really important. It's basically something that should be at the early on in your business plan. What does it stand for? It basically stands for strengths. So you list your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities and threats. These are the SWOT analysis that basically your business will have to accept. And you need to be honest with yourself here. You need to be here, quite frank, putting out your strengths, your weaknesses, why you're doing this business in the first place, the opportunities that this business presents itself, and the threats to the business. Here are an example of some of the different strengths that you may want to list down. For example, you may say that you're a disciplined person, that you're level-headed. Put down, don't be shy. No one's going to be reading this apart from you, unless you're going for maybe funding or to a bank or something. Are you realistic? Are you a patient person? Are you adaptable? Can you change? Are you able to take on new information? Are you able to absorb new theories and new ways of doing things? Are you analytical? Are you good with numbers? Are you good with working out the different ratios and so forth? If you're not, let it down, let it be known. Are you computer literate? Can you work a PC? Are you able to work trading platforms? If not, then that again should be listed down. Remember, this part of the business plan is all about you. It's all about you so that you are realistic to yourself. If you're realistic to yourself, you got half a chance. On that note, you've got to list your weaknesses as well, which are basically the opposite of your strengths. Are you finding yourself not very disciplined? Are you struggling to keep control of your emotions? Are you not that level-headed? Be honest with yourself. If you're honest with yourself, you're halfway there to combating them. Are you realistic? Are you known to have unrealistic expectations on things and then to be found out down the line? Are you patient or are you impatient? Do you want it now? Is it something that has to happen now? Again, list them down. The more you know about yourself, the more you put it down on paper, the more chance you are going to see. So the opposite of the strengths are basically going to be your weaknesses. The other one I want to mention here is hopping between trade ideas and signals. Are you the type of person that's always looking over the fence at something else that's going on? Okay, I call this the cycle of doom. I think it's one of the biggest reasons why most traders fail in this business is because of the cycle of doom. That's basically hopping between different strategies as they go. Cycle of doom. If you are prone to the cycle of doom, make sure you let it be known. Paralysis from analysis. Are you one of these type of people that basically analyzes too much? Are you one of these people that put in so many different criteria that you end up doing nothing at all? Paralysis from analysis. It's a big killer of many traders. If that's the way you are, be honest. Get it down there on paper. Are you easily distracted? I suffered from this certainly when I came onto the screens back in 2005, 2006. Working from home, having been in the city for many, many years, I'm now sitting on my own, in my workstation. I was easily distracted, taking the dog out, not really. If that's one of your weaknesses, put it down. So what are the opportunities? Well, be honest about the business. If you're trading Forex, well, it's got lots of opportunities because it's accessible. You can basically trade it around the clock, 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Get it written down. If you're trading CFDs, it allows you to trade stocks and shares. Write down the opportunities that your business that you're setting up is going to create for you. Opportunities leverage. That's another big one. Yeah, a lot of people are coming into trading the CFD Forex market with not a great deal of cash. Leverage allows you to get involved in the markets with a limited amount of cash. Then you've got proprietary trading. Great way to make a business, even if you don't have a great deal of money to start with. Proprietary trading is basically how you can prove yourself as a trader, take a challenge and then that proprietary firm is going to give you a funded trading account and takes certain percentages of the profits that you make. So huge opportunity for people that can prove they can trade. There are other videos, lessons on that. IT equipment as well. Opportunities, if you've got IT equipment already, that's brilliant. You'd be wanting to list that down, so you've got lots of tech around you. That's an opportunity. And also broker demo accounts. That's another opportunity in this business. Not many businesses out there that you can actually practice with no financial risk to yourself before you know if you can actually achieve it. Broker demo accounts is an opportunity that this business presents itself. What are the threats to the business? Well, you've got brokers. Some brokers, maybe unscrupulous brokers, they've been known to go under, go out, run away with all your money. Make sure you do your due diligence on that. You use a regulated broker, I say at all times. IT failure, you could have an internet blackout, and obviously you're in trades and so forth. These are threats to the business. Get them listed down so that nothing is going to surprise you going down in the future. Internet, again, going down. Weekend prices, that's the gap, because of course it closes on Friday and reopens on Monday. There could be a gap. Big black swan event, for example, could happen. Again, that's a threat to the business. So make sure that that's listed down. You may decide to close all your trades on a Friday. Get it listed down. Everything about your business. And a need to earn more income. For example, you're not making the income you need straight away from this business, so you may have to start looking for alternative income elsewhere. That could be a threat to this business if you're not hitting your milestones in a time frame that you're happy with. So that is a certain threat to the business. These are just ideas, remember. These are just ideas that you could incorporate into the SWOT analysis. I'm sure you're going to find other ones as well, and make sure that you do find other ones as well, because I want this to be your SWOT analysis, not my SWOT analysis of you. Again, being honest. Right, declaration. This is very important. Before you start your trading, I would really recommend you do this declaration to yourself. Remember, no one else has to see it. It's just you. Basically, a declaration. I will never trade more than the predetermined percentage risk on each trade. I will always use a stop loss. I will never move losses for fear of being hit. A lot of traders come into this, they see their stops getting close and they don't want to get out of the position, so they move it. You know, the ultimate obvious happens and end up getting stopped out, and you lose more, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. So I will never stop trading. I will stop trading the account if it goes below a certain percentage. So that's important. No, we don't always get it right from the get-go. If you start losing lots of money, there's got to be a cutoff where you say, well, enough is enough. Get that written down in your business plan, and make sure you do stop trading if you go below a certain amount, and then reassess your business. I will not copy a trade signal because it looks good. A lot of people get sucked in to copying signals, and we know copying signals is never going to make you as a trader. You have to understand trading as a business, not just copying someone who might get it right 10 on the bounce, but then might get it wrong 10 on the bounce. Copying a signal, make sure that that's down there, that you're not going to be copying a signal. I will not take a trade outside of my trading strategy rules. Common thing is for traders to be sitting at the screens and seeing something, or get brainwashed by someone else coming and saying, well, this is good, the euro dollar's going up, oh, I'll buy it. If it's not your strategy rules, make sure you declare to yourself, I'm not going to be doing that. Okay, and make sure you sign this document and date it. Remember, you are going to be looking at this business plan every week before you start your business. Now, this sounds, at this juncture, before I get into the template, I just want to say, if this all sounds too much nonsense to you, if this sounds too much like hard work, don't need it, that's absolutely fine. You can actually stop the video now and go elsewhere. But if you want to take this seriously, these are the things that you should be doing for any business, quite frankly. Of course, these are specific to trading, but any business, you should be doing this type of SWOT analysis and mission statements and so forth. So I encourage you to carry on. Right, okay. So what do I think should be included in the business plan? What I've done here, I've listed out a few of the important ones here. We'll go through them very quickly. But as I say, you can download the template. It's got gaps for you to fill in, but I just want to scan over these quickly. So what are my trading goals and my objectives? Are you here for passive income? Are you here for full-time income? Is this going to be an investment where you just want to maybe build a pot of cash potentially for your retirement? How much money are you going to put in to this business from the get-go? You're going to put in $1,000, $10,000, $50,000. Get that written down. You don't want to just be dropping into your bank account when it needs more money. Get down your financial allocation. What are your milestones? How long are you going to give this Very important. Don't just want this open-ended, going on and on and on. You'll end up wasting years and years and years and getting nowhere. Give yourself a timeline. This is a business plan. How are you going to educate yourself and financial allocation to that? Are you just going to get off and start trading, or are you going to start spending some money on some education, be it in books or be it in trading communities? How are you going to educate yourself to become a proficient and successful trader? And how much money are you going to spend on that? If you've got, say, a $10,000 business allowance, how much are you going to spend on education? Get it written down. How much will I spend on equipment? Of course, you need to buy maybe some screens and some office equipment as well. Get it written down. How much will I spend on software? Some software you need to buy potentially for back testing and so forth. Get it written down. Remember, we don't want any shocks in our business. Any bank or someone's going to lend you money for your business, they don't want any shocks either. They want to see it all mapped out. Everything's been accounted for. How much will I keep in reserve for new equipment? You might want a reserve fund just in case your computer breaks down. You don't want to be left with your business now with no way of continuing on with the business. Keep a reserve fund. Put it down with 5%, 10% reserve fund for unexpected events. How will I monitor my business performance? How are you going to track your trades? Are you going to use trade journals? Well, I really encourage you to use trade journals. That's basically how you log each and every trade, including the entries, exits, how much money you made, how much risk was up on the table, what you felt at the time, the emotions of taking that trade. These go into a trade journal. You want to put this in your business plan. How are you going to be monitoring your business performance as it goes and your trading as it goes? What is my initial financial allocation? I think I covered that a moment ago. What's my monthly target? How much do you expect to make on a monthly basis? Are you looking to make 2% a month, 3% a month, 5%? Set out a target. Make sure it's realistic. Set out a target, because that is what you're aiming for. So be realistic in that. What are my milestones and timelines of the financial growth? Okay, so what do you want to achieve in, say, 3 months' time? What do you want to achieve in, say, 6 months' time? And indeed, further down the line. How much money will I allow for withdrawals? Look, you're running a business. You want to get paid. When are you going to start taking money out of the business? Perhaps when you get to maybe, say, a 20% gain on equity, you might want to start taking some drawdowns. Get it mapped out. So you're not just dipping in to the account when you need to go and buy something that you fancy. This is your business. This is a business plan. So map it out. When will I top up the account? Again, very, very important. You may have a business that's really thriving, doing very well, but you might have started off with a limited amount of capital. So now you've seen the success, you might want to start adding more money into the business to maybe help it grow at a faster rate. So put it up. If you reach a certain milestone, I'll add more money into my trading business. When will I shift asset allocation between accounts? So when you're trading, you may have two different styles of trading. You may have like an intraday account where you're taking multiple trades in the day on the lower time frame charts, the 1 hour, 4 hour, and so forth. So you may have a strategy designed for that. You may have a strategy that's designed for longer term play, like the naked trading strategy that I teach, which is more of a long term trade, more of an investment. You may want to shift more from one account to another account when it gets to a certain amount, because obviously the longer term is more for investment, more for growing accounts over time. Shorter term is more for intraday profits and so forth. So let it be known before you start when you're going to start moving money from one account to another, if that is the way you want to trade. Your daily routine, get that down there. Are you going to start work at 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning, or are you just going to come in and start trading whenever you feel like it, whenever you've got nothing to do? Get it mapped out. This is your business. And don't worry if you can't be at your desk at 8 o'clock. It doesn't matter. You may be working during the day on your other day job, but you can only work in the evenings, whatever. If that's the case, that's fine. What we don't want you doing is finding a bit of spare time, going on and doing a bit of trading, because everything basically goes out of sync. Get your daily routine mapped out as well. What's your pre-market routine? Are you going to go a bit of a workout beforehand? Are you going to go for a run? Are you going to go to walk the dog to clear your mind? Are you going to start doing, are you going to read the news? Are you going to be looking at the overnight session? Get it mapped out. What is your plan for the day when you start your trading? And the post-market routine, basically how are you going to make sure your journals are up to date? Are you going to do that every day, every weekend? Get it mapped out. Remember, all these sections in the trade journal, you fill this in at your own time. Now I want to talk about the trading plan. The trading plan is different. It sits inside the business plan. The trading plan basically is trading, when you're going to pull the trigger. But all this, again, does need to be defined. The last thing you want to be doing is just pulling the trigger whenever you think a trade's going up or you think something is going down. So you've got to have a strategy, of course. So it comes to strategy development. So we talk about strategy development. How are you going to get your strategy? Are you going to develop your own? Are you going to buy one from somewhere? Are you going to cannibalize one? Are you going to use a swing strategy, an intraday strategy, or indeed a scalp strategy? Get that written down in your trading plan. Now, this is where it comes down to the nuts and bolts of the trading. Backtesting. Anyone that's been following me for a while will know that I insist on any of my students having this as the forefront of their education. Backtesting, it's so important. How are you going to backtest? Are you going to use just the free versions on MetaTrader 4? Or are you going to invest in some software to do that for you? How much time are you going to spend on backtesting? Yeah? Are you going to be backtesting a strategy for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? Yeah, let it be known. Reporting and journals. How are you going to report your backtesting results, and when you're going to go live? You're going to go live after a certain percentage gains been hit? Are you going to go live after 2 or 3 months once you know all your metrics that we talk about in the education, the profit factors and expectancies? You can learn all about that, of course, as you know, here with us at Forex Signals. So this is the trading plan. Now let's talk about the strategy. Okay, so the strategy, basically what strategy names? Good to name a strategy, good to have it named. Then you can identify with it. It becomes yours, it becomes personal. Get your strategy named, okay? What currency pairs are you going to be trading? Are you going to be trading the exotics, the majors, the minors? How are you going to be, what are you going to be trading when you start trading? You could be trading indices, gold, commodities, and so forth. List all that, again, in the strategy. Make sure if you're only trading 8 currency pairs, you're not going to get sucked into trading something else just because it looks good. Stick to what is in your strategy. Trading time periods, the charts. Okay, so this will be, are you looking at the 4 hour, 1 hour? Indicators, are you going to be using indicators? This is in the strategy. I'm using a MACD or stochastic or whatever it is. Price action patterns, are you using flags, some bullish engulfers, pin bars or what have you? This is where the strategy starts to take shape. And then of course you've got the strategy rules, the entry criteria, when, what are you looking for in the charts before you take the trade? The exit criteria, the take profit, stop loss levels and so forth. There it all is. And the strategy checklist. I did put this down sort of in yellow at the end. I think it's really important that in your business plan you do have a checklist, something just basically like that. It basically tells you all the criteria of your strategy, and you should maybe print these off, tick the boxes as the strategy rules apply, and then you've got something that you can put into your trading journal as well. Checklist, make sure you have that as well, and the checklist template should be in your business plan as well. And of course you can change the components of the business plan as time goes on. I wouldn't be saying you should be changing it each and every day, but certainly every say 3 months you may want to review it. But again, you can put that in the plan from the get-go when you are going to review and start changing. One of the biggest problems that traders have, again, is always swapping, changing. If you have this plan, these type of questions answered, written down in your business plan, you're less likely to deviate. And I guess it does go back to that that little cliche that we spoke about at the beginning. And if you fail to plan, you are, of course, likely planning to fail. So lastly, before I end, let me say this. This is my trading business plan, yeah? Mine. Not yours, it's mine. I've today given you some ideas of what I think you should include in a trading business plan. I know it's important, I know it's essential to have a business plan, and I've given you some guidance there of what it should include. But you have to take ownership. It's yours. As I say, it's not mine. So yours may differ from that. So if you've got any ideas, anything that you think is relevant to your business, get it written down in the plan and review it periodically to make sure you stay on track. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. Don't forget, as I say, you can download the trading business plan template just by clicking the link below in the description tab and so forth. Don't forget to follow us on all the socials as usual. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, of course, if you don't already do so. And also remember, we are streaming live around the clock now, 5 days a week in all time zones. If you want to take part in that, you can do just by coming over to forexsignals.com and taking out a free 7-day trial. It won't cost you a dime. If you don't want to stay, you don't have to. If that's not your thing, not a problem. I'll see you next week. Have a good one.